Hi, everyone. It's Carolyn Jones with Holistic Institute of Wellness. And I'm so excited today to have Sally Gallot-Reeves here with me, the author of The Soul Garden Pathway. Sally, welcome. We are just so excited. I'm so excited to have you here, as just, you know, the Soul Garden Pathway has meant so much to me personally, to my clients, to our students. And I thought it would just be wonderful to have you on today to talk a little bit about the book and what it's meant to you, and maybe just share a little bit behind the scenes and anything that's really on your heart today that you would like to share with the listeners.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. It's just an honor to be here. I love that we shared the development of the book. I love that you wrote the introduction for the book. You really understood it. You saw into it the potential for everyone, and that's just such a blessing to me. And I am so excited about how it's being used, not just for individuals, but for groups and the actual healing, help, insightfulness that it can bring forward.
Yes, that is so true. So we have used it at the Holistic Institute of Wellness. We've used it for our Reiki Master group this year. So we have about 8 Reiki Masters that are going through their training. And so we actually gifted them one of the books as part of their curriculum through the mastership program, and they have absolutely loved it. And they're all getting such benefit out of it. You know, it's so, as I mentioned in the introduction, you know, the book really does help you. It weaves kind of that internal and external landscape and really brings those experiences to life. And I think with having a group go through it, Sally, has been so profound because, you know, we're not only going through it simultaneously with them, but then we're having a conversation about it and sharing each month. And that has just been, I think, very profound for them and for us as their teachers.
And I think also a benefit of doing it as a group is we begin to really see how people individualize from their own experience and their own growth, what each step, what each aspect means to them. And I think in sharing it with everyone, we help others to expand and to have that enlightenment that comes with the book.
Right. I so agree. And I feel like that's really, you know, what we're all here for, right? Is to help with that expansion. Can you tell us a little bit today just about what, I don't know, maybe the passion behind the book for you, like where it came from and how did you birth this beautiful masterpiece, as I call it?
Well, I did not do it on my own. I have, and I'm very grateful for all of the guidance and my angelic team that always supports me. This book was started actually through journaling. Probably at least a decade ago when I didn't know what I was writing. And it is the same steps going through the garden, I will say, are my steps in becoming more evolved as a person and knowing that my spiritual being was really my primary being and my higher self was really my connection. And so I would write and then, you know, go off and write some other books and whatnot. The pivotal point for me was when I started writing the blessings for the day, which is, as you know, something I send out every day to anyone who would like to just subscribe, and they're also on Facebook. And when that started, it was because a friend her friend's daughter had been in a critical car accident. And when she wrote me, I couldn't do anything for her except my mind said and my heart said, you need to bless her. Bless her and help her through your blessing. It was a pivotal point because she replied, just keep sending me a blessing. So with that awareness of the impact of love, support, gratefulness, the writing took off after that. And I knew that, again, with the chapters in the book, as you had mentioned also, there are 9 chapters in the book, and there's 9 months for giving birth.
Right.
And in the end, you are absolutely giving birth to your own spirituality. I think the other thing is that every time I read it, I'm at a different level of awareness. And so this is not something that you read and you can put aside. It's something when you go back to, you will be in a higher place and you will be much more able to fully understand the concepts.
Yes, that is so true. You know, that 9-month period that you mentioned, I've experienced that through the book, through the Soul Garden Pathway, because as I was so honored to write the introduction, and thank you again for allowing me that honor. But, you know, I read through it several times and to get the feel of it and to understand it. And I remember each time I would read it, I would gain something else, you know, from it. And now we're going through it, as I mentioned, with our students, and even our teachers are going through it, which is just, so right now, Sally, we have 16 people going through your book.
Oh, I love that. That's wonderful.
Yes, it's so exciting. And so again, as I'm going back through it, you know, I'm feeling that. I feel like I'm reaching new awarenesses. I'm getting new epiphanies, that next level. And that's what's so wonderful. And one of the beautiful things that I love about this book is the discovery questions.
Yeah.
I think that putting those in has been a key component. And I think you know what a big avid fan of journaling I am. I'm always suggesting to people, journal, journal, journal. And so I love that that's how the Soul Garden Pathway started, because that's the result and power of journaling if you can allow it to take you where it wants to take you. So I love that that's how it began for you.
What I found in journaling, I mean, I have written all my life. I have recollections of being, you know, 7, 8, you know, with a pencil and one of those green composition books.
Right.
But what I find when you keep journaling is eventually your mind is not doing the writing. It is your inner spirit doing the writing. I mean, people say that about meditation too, that the more that you can do meditation and allow yourself to open up, that what comes through to you is from a higher spiritual plane. It's the same thing with journaling. And you would just be, people would just be so surprised. And it's just so awesome what does come through when you just let that pen keep going, you know?
Yes, I do know. And that's why I'm such a big advocate for it. I love it. You know, one other thing I wanted to mention about the Soul Garden Pathway, to me, it's like, it's a tool, it's a roadmap, you know, really, like you mentioned, there's 9 chapters. And, you know, I hope you'll come back and talk with me some more about the book, and maybe we can dive just a little bit into some of the chapters to give the listeners just, you know, some insight from our own personal take on them. But it really does. It is truly like walking through a garden, you know, and just all the things that you can imagine encountering in that garden. And when I think about it, I see a garden in my mind, and I see it as one of those beautiful gardens that you can walk through. And that's what this book completely reminds me of. And the way that it's written, I actually wanted to share this with you. I had a dear client that shared with me, she had purchased your book just a few months ago. And she said, wow, this book, it's like it's been written by a poet. And I said, well, she has written some poetry as well. So
my first book was a book of poetry. As you know, my background is in nursing and healing. And so Between Shifts was that first book in 2014. And then Behind the Open Door, and then the Soul Garden Pathway was last year. So, and I'm, continuing to write. I do really feel that poetic artistry, that is the way I write. It's very descriptive. And the garden is meant to be your sanctuary, so that when people read the book, they feel that peace and tranquility that comes with being in a sanctuary and being protected within your own spirit.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, I love that. I love that. So wonderful. Now, for our listeners, if they would like to pick up one of the books, where can they order it?
It's on your major online vendors, Amazon, for instance, and it comes in a paperback. It also comes in an ebook. And if people are choosing an ebook, they want to get a little notebook for their discovery questions. And then I also ask people after their discovery questions to do an affirmation. And I start an affirmation and then ask them to finish it in their own words. And that also is a very building exercise, so that as you are, again, progressing through the steps in the garden, you are becoming aware what you are building through those discovery questions and affirmations. And what is it that you want to build, your purpose, your life path, etc.
Right. Yes. So beautiful. Absolutely love it. And then your the blessings that you send out. I know I receive those every day and I love them. And I wanted to say, it's so funny to me how they speak to me and what I'm experiencing at that moment. It's so uncanny how that happens, but we know how it happens, right? It's just the secret magic of the universe. And I love getting those on a daily basis. And they're nice, they're short, and it's just that word or that sentence of inspiration to me. So how can our listeners also get signed up for that, Sally?
Well, there's several ways. There is a website called soulgardenpathway.com. Not only can you sign up for the blessings, there's more than 80 blogs on that website. You can go to my own author website, which is SallyGallot-Reeves.com, which is actually GALLOT, not ET as it's pronounced.
Yes.
You can find me on Facebook, and you can find me on Twitter. Not Twitter, Instagram.
Okay, awesome. That's wonderful. Well, Sally, thank you again so much today for joining me. It was just a pleasure and delight. And I look forward to having you back soon and diving a little deeper into Soul Garden Pathway.
I think that would be fantastic. And I just so enjoy sharing. And that is my goal as a writer. How can I share? So thank you very, very much.
Well, you are most welcome. It's so honoring to see you and just living your divine purpose. That just makes my heart happy. So,
and that is truly how I feel.
Excellent. Well, it shows. It definitely shows.
Thank you.
And Sally and I are so grateful that you tuned in with us today. And we hope you have a beautiful, blessed day and week ahead, and wherever you may be at this time in your life. And we hope you'll check out the Soul Garden Pathway and just look for that inspiration to help you dive more into your life and purpose. Thank you so much.